Reni, or Reni the Resource, and I was just on Activated Podcast. I'm super excited for you guys to listen to this episode. It was a great episode. We talked all things money. We talked about building wealth in the Black community, getting scammed by Forex, and even me buying my first house at the age of 23. So I can't wait for you to listen. It was a great episode. Leave your comments down below and let me know what you liked about it. And make sure you tune in to the rest of these episodes because they are great. Bye.
What up? Thanks again for tuning in. This is the Activated Podcast, your boy Eva, live and direct. Of course, we are inside quarantine time, so we are. I have my special guest right now, who I've actually been looking forward to speak to, and it's just funny how our path was crossed, and maybe 2 years after following her on social media, it just makes sense for her to come on my podcast and such. So I've been looking forward to it. I'm excited for you guys to kind of get an insight and learn a little bit from what people are doing out here, especially in the city of Toronto, but just from a financial aspect. It's a lot of things that we can learn from. So I've been looking forward to it. Right now we are via Zoom, so sound might be a little bit off or whatever, but we're trying our very best to give you an episode, but also bring you some insightful conversation. So joining me all the way from her kitchen, it looks like.
Yeah.
She said, we have finance advisor, mentor, also created a platform, Season 3. Did I say right?
Season 3, yeah.
I butchered that.
Yeah.
I said Season 3. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the platform. Reni is in the house. Reni, aka the Resource.
Yes, Reni the Resource. Yeah, that's what people call me sometimes, you know. Thank you.
How you feeling today?
I'm good. It's been a busy day, but blessed, highly favored. So yeah. How about you?
Ready to go. Yeah, same thing. I think it's not only like dealing with just regular work or whatever, but I also have to set everything up, and I'm a little nervous because of this whole Zoom thing, but I think we should be good to go. I don't know if you get like that too, but whenever technology is involved, I'm like, man, I don't know what this is. This is going.
I know technology is great sometimes, but you know, sometimes it's not so great. Fails a lot of times. So yeah.
So let's get into it right away. Tell people who are not up to or just wondering like, who the hell is this person here or whatever. Give us a little bit of a elevator pitch and who Reni is.
Okay, so Reni, also known as Reni the Resource. I am a marketing manager. So I work at one of the largest banks in Canada, and I work as a marketing manager in the wealth management department. I'm also someone who's very passionate about educating others on things, especially in the Black community. I really want everyone in the Black community to elevate themselves. And I think that people in other communities they always share knowledge, but oftentimes Black people don't. So I like to share knowledge, whether that's on financial literacy, career guidance, mentorship, lots of different things. So that's a little bit about me. I also bought my first house at the age of 24. So that's really the platform where I started. And I started my YouTube channel to educate other people.
And that's actually before we even go any further, that's like and like I'm saying, I followed you for some time. I think it was a sort of pod that was created on Instagram where it put in there, and then I was like, okay, the decent thing to do is just follow everybody in there just to understand what's going on. I've less since that damn pod, but I mean, I guess it did what it did for what it was. And then seeing a video that you posted stating that you bought your first crib at 23 years old. So for me, just to put in context, I'm 31, so I was like, whoa, okay, something is going on here. Let me be a little bit. It definitely sparked my curiosity a bit. So let's get right into that aspect of how does a 23-year-old buy their first property in probably one of the most expensive market in North America. At 23 years old, like walk us through that whole process.
Okay, so I guess to start off, I have to go way back. My parents have been teaching me about financial literacy since I was born, basically. I've had a bank account since I was 3-4 years old. They've always every time every time an uncle would come over or an auntie would come over to my house, and Nigerian aunties and uncles like to give you money when they leave. So most Nigerian parents would just take 50, or they would take all of it and hold it for you. I'm sure you've experienced
that's
that.
what happened to all the money I received up until I was 16 years old.
Exactly. But my parents were a little different. They were actually like, put it 50% of it has to go into a bank account. So that just I've just been in the habit of saving 50% of my income since I was a child. Obviously, I didn't have much income. I was getting like maybe $20, but it was still something. And I made sure to save 50% of it. So when I started my first job, when I was working at Payless shoe store, actually, I was making $9 an hour or something, but still $4.50 of each hour was put into my bank account and saved. And then once I turned 18, my parents started talking to me about investing. Well, they started talking to me about it a little before, but like they started saying like, this is the time to start investing. I started investing at age 18. I invested in some great companies and my money just increased exponentially.
Give me an example. What's an early stock that you purchased at the time?
Yeah, so Shopify would be one of them. So Shopify, I think it was $150 or something when I entered Shopify. Right now, I think Shopify is $1,300 per stock. Yeah, okay. So right. I had to sell a lot of my Shopify to purchase a house, obviously. But like I still have a few of them from and I bought it when I was 150, so or maybe 200. I'm not sure, around that.
So in simple math, sorry, not to get you. In simple math, if you would have invested $1,000 when the stock was 150. What would that be worth now?
Yo, math is not my strong point, so
I'm the top, so I'm like, is that so? It would be what times what 1,000?
Yeah.
Would that be it? So would it be like a grand turn to 10 grand? We might be. If you're listening to this, you could do the math and just kind of understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I get it. We tried.
Yeah,
but outside of Shopify, am I saying it right?
Yeah.
What other stocks would you put on early?
So some other stocks are like Square, which is, I'm not sure if you know, but when you go to like a vendor and yeah, right? Or PayPal. It's a lot of tech stocks that I really invested in. They are high growth stocks, but they're for the long term. So a lot of people invest in things and they want to invest for like, oh, it's been 2 months. Why hasn't my money doubled? But like that doesn't happen, honestly. Unless you're really lucky, that doesn't really happen. So I invested in some tech stocks. I held them for 2-3 years. And then by the time I was 23, I had enough money to put my down payment on my house. And I think it was $60K that I needed. I had more than that, but like I needed the $60K.
Easy with the number. Okay.
Yeah.
No, and to be honest with you, it is. I got into investing probably when I was early 20s. And it's just like learning through, because I work at a bank called B2B Bank at the time. So that's when I started to learn about mutual funds, RSSPs and investment loans and all that stuff. So then from then on, and I remember when we get our yearly bonus, the first year I took it and it's like half of it went to taxes. And I was like, that don't make no sense. So the following year, I was talking to my manager and he go, oh, you could just put in your RSP and then withdraw from it. And then that's kind of like how I kind of like, oh, okay, this kind of makes sense. And once I put it in there, I didn't even need it. So it kind of just stayed there and then it became kind of routine. But like I'm saying, I got put on it when I was 22, 23 perhaps. Now, and the reason I'm saying that is back to you, because clearly your parents was on their financial literacy tip. What do you know why your dad gravitated toward that, and why did he think it was important for you to learn it at such a young age? Yeah, my dad he's just really about like, he doesn't want to, since he came to Canada in 2000, he never worked for anyone except for himself. He's really about like, your money has to work for you. I'm sure you've heard of the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, which so many people have read. I think that book like changed his life basically. Like I had to read it when I was a kid as well. But yeah, I don't know. He's really about making your money work for you instead of working for money. So of course you have to work for money, but then your money also has to work for you.
he learned, I think he told me a story about how he worked with this company. He was a consultant. He was doing so well. And then the average bonus that people would get was $5,000. But his boss said he could only give him $4,500. And that just pissed my dad off. After the manager said that he was, this was pounds, sorry. It was in England, but it was 4,500 pounds, which is a lot of money, right? But my dad was like, why can't I get 5,000 pounds? And the guy was like, I'm trying to motivate you for next year. So my dad was like, nope, I'm never working for anyone. And then from that day on, he has never worked for anyone since then. So he was just really into like, you guys need to make sure that your money works for you from when you're a kid. And if I instill this into you when you're a kid, then it will last you for the rest of your life. Yeah. It's harder to learn things, obviously, when your habits have developed. But yeah, he was just really into like, from when you're a kid, you're going to learn. So yeah.
I mean, that's incredible. Does being Nigerian have anything? Do you think Nigerians just have an extra, a special knack for just when it comes to like being drawn to money or even hustling? Because I was having a conversation with a friend of mine today, and we were saying like especially West Africa, Nigerians are just very on their money game. Does it? Mm-hmm. Do you take that as a special power that y'all have? No.
Honestly, I love Nigeria, but I don't think that's it, because a lot of Nigerians appear to be wealthy, but they're not actually wealthy. So I think that's something, maybe that's what you're seeing, because I think Nigerians love to be flashy, Mm-hmm. So maybe not. I don't think it has to do anything with Nigeria.
Okay. So now you talk about your early investments, which obviously led to you purchasing your house. Would you have done anything different with the money without your parents telling you, okay, now, or even like once the money that you was investing got to a certain amount, what was the next step? Like, what put you on to like, you know what, I should get a house instead of going to the Maldives and and ball out for the gram kind of thing?
I do that too. I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I've been to 30 countries actually, and like last year I went to 2 countries. The year before that I went to like 10 countries. So like it's not like I don't enjoy myself and I don't have fun. Yeah. I think if my parents, I think I just would have spent all the money if my parents hadn't instilled this in me from early, because. Like, it's so easy because say I'm saving like $200 per paycheck. It's so easy to just spend $200 per paycheck on food. Yeah. So I just think like, I just would not have stacked all this money. I would have spent it all. Yeah. I really just think I would have spent all of the money.
So you've been to that's incredible. 30 countries.
Yes, 30 countries.
23, you've been to 30 countries. Damn.
Yeah.
You start making me feel bad about my life. I'm like, damn. Throughout the 30 countries, what was your favorite country that you've been to? Top of your head.
Thailand. Probably Thailand. But it's because I was on exchange. So I went on exchange to Thailand and I lived there for 5 months. So I think it's a little different living somewhere. Mm-hmm. So for the places I've lived, Thailand is my favorite. And for the places that I've just visited, I would say Colombia is one of my favorite.
Is Thailand worth the trip? Like, if you had to recommend, would you, hands down?
Yes, I love Thailand. I would just say that people go to the wrong areas. They go to extremely touristy areas that aren't the best. They may be pretty for Insta, but they're not actually like nice. So I would say yes, go to Thailand, but ask for recommendations for someone who actually knows how to travel properly.
Back to, once again, before we move on from the buying the house at 23, what would you say? Because I'm sure somebody will listen and watch this and go, oh, well, you got your parents to help you and blah, blah, blah. And maybe you got the chance to stay home rent free for all this. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's an advantage that you have. Therefore, it makes sense to, obviously, you know what I mean? People will look at it and go, okay, well, it makes sense for you to buy a house because you didn't have all of the other struggles that everybody else has, is paying rent and things like that. How do you feel about that statement? Have somebody said that to you before?
Oh yeah, all the time. Especially once I posted on YouTube, the hate was real. I was like, hey guys, I even said in my video, like, I acknowledge my privilege of being able to stay at home and live rent free. Like, my only expenses are my car, my phone, my food, like simple, small things that I can choose to spend as much as I want or as little as I want.
Yeah.
And I acknowledge the fact that I'm so grateful for the fact that my parents allowed this. And I think more parents should do this, which is why I hope a lot of parents watch that video. But I would say you guys are right. I'm in a privileged position, but I think a lot of people who are in the same position do not do the same thing with their money. So, yeah. So, and I think that a lot of people are even way wealthier than me. They come from much wealthier beginnings, but they don't have the financial literacy to do the same thing that I did. So I think it's all about the person and if they want to actually save money and they have enough discipline to do so.
What from your perspective, what is the best saving vehicle? Because I know there's the RSP route of things, there's TFSA, there's regular just saving, and maybe like people not even understanding. I guess TFSA is tax-free saving. You're allowed to put a certain amount of money per year without being taxed. I think I'm close to. I'm making sense, right? And
yeah, you said it perfectly. And TFSA.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, TFSA is a tax-free savings account. I would say that the thing is, once you become financially literate, you understand that saving is not a way to become wealthy. You actually need to invest your money to become wealthy. So, like I was saying, you can't save yourself to wealth because your money isn't growing. Like even in a high interest savings account, your money is growing maybe 2-3% a year, which is good, but it's still it's not much. If you put it in an investing vehicle through the TFSA, through the RSP, through the RESP, your money can grow exponentially. So like I said, if I had put $100 into my savings account, for example, and I put $100 into Shopify, that $100 from my savings account may be $150 by now. But $100 in my investing account may be